Good morning. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Come on to the book of Hebrews. Hebrews is all about the supremacy of Jesus, and I wanted to talk about that today. Just looking at Hebrews chapter 1, I want to look at a few verses. I want to make a few applications to make sure that we truly believe that Jesus is who Scripture says that He is. Hebrews chapter 1 at verse 5, it says, "For to which of the angels did He ever say, 'You are my Son, today I have begotten you'?" Jesus is not an angel. There's a lot of people out there that believe Jesus is Michael the archangel. That is what our Jehovah's Witnesses friends teach. This verse very clearly says he's not an angel. Verse 4 says he is so much better than the angels. Jesus is not an angel. He's so much better. Now at verse 6 it says, "But when he again brings the firstborn into the world, he says, 'Let all the angels of God worship him.'" Jesus is worthy of worship, and we should worship Him. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think we worship the Father through Him, and that's one and the same thing. It's not. Jesus is worthy of worship, and the reason that He is worthy of worship is because of what verse 8 says. "But to the Son, He says, 'Your throne, O God, is forever and ever.'" Jesus is deity. One of the bigger religions in the world, namely Islam, they believe in Jesus, but they don't believe that He's deity. They don't believe that He truly is the Son of God. They don't believe what Scripture teaches about His death and His resurrection as well. But this verse says that He is God. He is deity. And that's what makes Him worthy of worship. But also this verse, it says, "Your throne, O God, is forever and ever." He is eternal. And a lot of folks don't believe that Jesus is eternal, or they don't believe that He was eternally deity. For example, Mormons do not believe that. We believe what Scripture teaches. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. But the verse also says concerning His throne that it is forever and ever. Jesus is not coming back to establish another throne. His throne has already been established, and it is eternal. So folks who talk about, well, the Lord's going to come back and set up shop and set up another throne, set up His throne is already established. What we need to do is bow the knee to the Lord. Now at verse 9, it says, "You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness, therefore God, your God, has anointed you." And this is an important point. The Son and the Father are not one and the same person. Here it says, "Therefore God, your God." Jesus is not the Father. Jesus has a Father. Verse 5 again, "I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son." Our Pentecostal friends who believe in oneness doctrine, they need to understand this verse. Jesus and the Father are not one and the same person. It says, "Therefore God, your God, has anointed you." What we need to do is recognize the supremacy of Jesus. Verse 13, "To which of the angels has He ever said, 'Sit at my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool'?" If we do not believe what these verses have said about Jesus, if we do not take heed to the truth, then we are actually the Lord's enemies. We need to get on the Lord's side. We need to believe what Scripture says. We need to recognize the supremacy of Jesus. Hope you enjoyed this study. God bless you. Be a blessing to others. Hope to see you tomorrow morning.